Now when I mention I prefer a cherry coke over a beer or a glass of wine, I get strange looks, followed up with a comment ranging from, "But you're a Brit," to, "Is it a religious thing?" It seems being sober is not an ordinary thing, but that's fine with me. I'm all in on being extraordinary. Now as I said, I seem to be in the minority, and I'm certainly not out to shame anybody that drinks alcohol, but I do want to encourage habits that will improve their quality of life, and in ways you may not fully realise. So here are the breathtaking effects I have found quitting alcohol, and how it's changed my life forever, and it can for you too. Why you should drink. I drink to the general joy of the whole table. Alcohol is great. It allows your social insecurities and your nervous dispositions to be conquered, at least for a time. It gives everybody a commonality and a connection in social gatherings. It gives you liquid courage and quick-witted humour. It can turn you into a confident Casanova, or gain your social status as the life of the party. Alcohol can help you in a pinch, in ways nothing else can, not legally anyway. It's relatively cheap, it's socially acceptable, and most venues have areas dedicated to the consumption and enjoyment of alcohol. In fact, in Western society, at least in my experience, if you don't drink alcohol, it's questioned. There's something wrong. It's perfectly normal if you drink alcohol regularly, but there must be a big reason if you don't. To most people, if you don't drink, it's just strange. Now I recognise it can alleviate stresses and pressures, and it can be the off switch at the end of a long hard day. It can even help you lose weight. Okay, I'm not sure about the last one, but for all the benefits I thought it brought my life, I found that they were easily replaced with better options. I also found out the benefits for not drinking far outweigh the reasons to drink. Now if going out socialising and drinking regularly, and spending a good portion of your salary on doing that is important to your happiness and fulfilment, I have nothing for you. But if you're a little bit curious on how alcohol can improve your life, stick with it. I did a lot of research and it blew me away. Thanks for clicking on the video today, I appreciate it. Consider subscribing below and perhaps give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you'll find this to be a great video. Better person, better dad. Now having a drink during the weekdays usually meant a glass of wine at dinner and or a couple of beers afterwards in my relaxing time. But drinking at the weekends was a whole different experience, often taking up the best part of 2 days. Even before going out in the evenings, I would have some warm-up drinks at home to get me in the mood. After all, I'd be excited to see friends, so alcohol will help me get my glow on. And then once we're out, it would be drink after drink. We would often have shots, followed by beers, and after a long night, my body would struggle to even function, just enough to get home and get to bed. And then the hangover. It was often an all-day event, such was my alcohol intake, often getting up late afternoon or even the evening, having a shower and a small bite to eat. And all that was lost time with the kids. Perhaps the most important time, the weekend. They get up excited in the morning with no school, and you can spend time with them without the stress of going to work. All missed. Feelings of disappointment and loss, compounded by the guilt that I carried around with me. It was simply not worth it. The quality time lost can never be brought back, and as adults, our memories of childhood play an important role. In all aspects of development, we should ensure we instill healthy and comforting experiences during our kids' childhoods. And as most parents know, kids will often do what we do and not what we say. Our responsibility to show them how to live enriched, happy lives was one I needed to remember more often. So I decided no more nights going out getting drunk and no more wasted weekends. Social life. So if you're a bit older like me, perhaps in your 40s or 50s, you're probably a bit more confident to give up alcohol and deal with the comments. After all, I just smile, make a joke and move on. I've got bigger things to worry about, like university fees and taxes. But if you're in your 20s or even your 30s, you may feel the social pressure to conform. It may be uncomfortable to drink a Coke or a non-alcoholic drink in front of friends or associates. After all, nobody wants to be the butt of a joke in a social gathering. But if you make the choice of enjoying the benefits of not drinking alcohol, be confident in your action. You never know, you may inspire somebody else to do the same. And I promise you, you're going to find people that have done the exact same thing as you. Giving up alcohol, at least temporarily, to focus on some personal goals is more common than we think. And if you find you're worried about not being liberated by alcohol on nights out and getting that loose feeling, just remember why you're doing it and all the benefits. You never know, that may make you happy and enjoy the night. I think about how our wealth and assets portfolio is growing, and that makes me feel ecstatic. So my advice here is find your happiness. So when you do go out with friends, you don't need alcohol to enjoy the night. Your health and the experts. Before I quit drinking, I would regard myself as moderately healthy. I went to the gym regularly, I had a balanced diet, and I didn't smoke. But I did notice a few issues. I had an extra layer around my waist and love handles. I often had headaches and migraines, and I had cravings for greasy and deep fried food. But the worst thing, I would spend a lot of time being tired and unproductive. And when I gave up drinking, I realised these were symptoms of drinking during the week and drinking heavy at the weekend. I didn't realise at the time, but these were side effects of alcohol running through my system and sometimes overwhelming it. Now, most of us know that liver can be damaged or even stop being effective with long-term exposure to alcohol. But it also can mess up your pancreas, your central nervous system, your digestive systems and your circulatory system, your immune system and even your libido. It can affect your memory and your emotional well-being, leading to mental health issues. And I'm sure we've all witnessed people in society that have fallen prey to the addiction and the ravages of alcohol. And why you may think it's not relevant to you, as I did, I was shocked by these following statistics. According to a 2022 survey by the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, in the US, 2.2 million people received alcohol use treatment for AUD, or alcohol use disorder. Frighteningly, 54,000 of that 2.2 million people were children ages 12 and up. That floored me. And this is not a social drink that got out of hand. These are tens of thousands of children that are dealing with alcohol abuse. This is a serious problem, and the more I researched it, the more concerned I was. We are literally poisoning our bodies with alcohol, and with regular and increased use, it can easily be classified as a harmful addiction, negatively affecting all areas of your life in a downward spiral. Well, enough about the scary stuff. What about the benefits of giving up alcohol? Well, here's one I noticed immediately and long term, and it was awesome. No more hangovers. First of all, I didn't plan for a day to give up alcohol. It just happened over time. I no longer had a beer after work or a glass of wine with dinner. I was busy with work and I wanted to spend more time with the kids. And at weekends, I was far too busy to go out and get hammered. I guess life had caught up with me. Before I knew it, I was 2 months in and completely sober. So what did it feel like? Well, I've got to say, it felt great. I had more energy. Perhaps because I was more active with the kids or going to the gym more often. My diet had improved significantly, but I would put that down to more gym time and cooking at home on a regular basis. My skin got better and I reduced my weight. And I even lost my love handles. My mental awareness was far better too. Not only was I thinking straight and mentally agile in the morning, I was also constructively thinking about how to improve my finances and my well-being during the daytime. As time went on, all these things grew in benefit to me and the family, and it just became the norm, the standard quality of life, and it was good. Looking back, it was a breathtaking change, a 180-degree complete turnaround. But at the time, it was just baby steps, small changes that I could commit to and continue. From more time with the kids to the occasional night out with my wife without getting tipsy or drunk. And I didn't realise then, but giving up alcohol was our springboard to start building wealth for our family and work towards financial freedom. But that's another video. In truth, we're still discovering the benefits to our lives, but those benefits are compounding over time. And one of those benefits was money. And how much we were saving exploded. Saving so much money. Saving money was not a concern back then when we were drinking. Our business was doing well and we had a big consumer lifestyle. So big in fact we celebrated every day with a glass or two. So how much did we spend on alcohol? Well, during the week, Monday to Friday, we'd get through 2 or 3 bottles of wine and a few beers. I estimate about $80 to $100. I didn't buy expensive, but I liked good quality wine. Going out for dinner or with friends, we could easily blow through $100 to $200 a week. Let's say about $120 average. And lastly, maybe $50 a week, stocking up the house for visitors. So all given, we were spending approximately $250 a week, or over a course of a year, $13,000. Now that doesn't include Christmas, family birthdays, visitors from abroad staying with us, and all other celebrations. So that's a little over $1,000 a month we were spending on alcohol. Was it worth it? At the time, yes, I was drunk. But looking back in reflection, I would have to say no. Since giving up, the physical and mental health gains have been immeasurable, and in my opinion, have improved my life expectancy by years. So what did it cost us in monetary terms? Well, in my favourite way to drive a message home, here's what it cost us on a compound interest calculator. By giving up alcohol and saving $13,000 a year, then investing it into the stock market with a 10% annual return, over 10 years would give you $207,000. Over 20 years, in the same conditions, would net you $744,000. And over 30 years, on the same conditions, investing that $13,000 a year would bring you $2.1 million. I drank alcohol for 26 years, and in my earlier days, I drank a hell of a lot more than I did when I quit. So that number really floored me. And I took it one step further to see what I would make over 40 years investing that $13,000 a year, and it came up to $5.7 million. Now this is just a bit of fun, but also it's not. This is all achievable if you put your mind to it. And if you're young, you have all the time in the world to do this. Alcohol will take a toll on your wallet. especially when you've been impaired by it. You can redirect your money from booze to something that will benefit you and your family. We don't need alcohol to have a happy, amazing, and fulfilling life. So quitting alcohol is definitely a double-edged sword and goes against the grain of society. It can bring you big benefits and assets to improve your life immeasurably, but it can also present you with social and mental challenges to deal with. It can make you look at yourself in a deep way that you may have not done so before, and that may be uncomfortable. But to quit alcohol, you've got to be extraordinary. And for me, that's just fine. After all, being financially free, being part of that small percentage of society, is by definition extraordinary. Thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate you. My next video will be in a few days, but in the meantime, I've got one here just for you. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll see you there.